23, 24, 25.
What are you doing, Dawn?
I'm counting all the model railway layouts at the Stafford Model Railway Show. 55 layouts, 49 trade stands, 21 associations, 6 modelling demonstrations. Grumpy, you've got your work cut out for you. I know. What about for this video? We film all 55. Up for the challenge?
No.
Oh, come on, Grumpy, get with it. We've only got 11 hours. We better get started.
Yeah, but I ain't had a fillet of fish yet.
And with the clock ticking and Grumpy's tummy rumbling, we got to it, starting with a little wander through 00 gauge, which is well represented at the show. This was inspired by the parcel siding at Margate, which apparently still exists if you know where to look. Wrap up warm now for this very snowy scene, Ashwood. Ashwood is based on a rural village in the 1960s, when the country pub and station were central to village life. Bampton is based on the real location on the Tiverton and North Devon Railway and was opened on the 1st of August 1884. Bampton Station and the branch became part of the Great Western Railway and was closed on 7th of August 1963. The layout depicts the station in the period from 1958 until 1969. All the buildings on this beautiful layout are scratch-built based upon the buildings in the vicinity of the station. Based upon a fictitious location somewhere in the northwest of Scotland, Barryhandy is set in the Blue Era when diesels were operating into this busy fishing port. As well as featuring the railway operations at the port, there's also distillery traffic into Lochban Distillery. A major feature is a harbour full of fishing vessels and a car ferry. One of the features of Barryhandy is a Scottish West Coast puffer, which regularly sails in and out of the harbour. Set in the Midlands between 1960 and 1970, Blenheim Road is an 8-foot by 2-foot 00 gauge depot layout, capturing the atmosphere of the diesel hydraulic era. While the locomotives take centre stage, the setting also allows for an eclectic mix of motive power to make an appearance, ensuring variety for the viewer. This layout depicts the western terminus of the Clun Valley Light Railway, a very rural line in the far west of Shropshire. The scene is set in the late 1930s, just before the outbreak of World War II, and has survived due to the locality of timber stocks. Crinan is a fictional extension from the West Highland Line, set around 1969 to 1972, and inspired by Mallaig. Originally built to tap the fish traffic, the traffic now goes mainly by road. However, the railhead still provides a healthy amount of freight for the area and the Scottish Islands, via McBrains, who run the National Carriers Limited service in this part of the world. The Crinan Distillery is also rail-served via a curving private siding. Passenger numbers due to tourism have increased due to the poor roads in the area, particularly in the summer months. The sheer size of the venue allowed for some pretty impressive layouts, and the next one was huge. So much so it's only fully appreciated from above, and luckily there was a balcony. But then Grumpy insisted on using his new drone to film it. Luckily, Dorhill's 15-strong team of operators didn't notice. From Yorkshire now down to a small coastal town of Eastquay, situated on a river estuary in the southwest of England. The ferry across to the other side of the estuary departs from the left-hand end of the harbour wall when the tide is high enough. Fairwood Junction is situated to the west of Westbury in Wiltshire, in the shadow of the famous White Horse, the real location being a popular spot for enthusiasts. Over to Gracetown Bank Goods Depot now, and this layout is situated in a fictional northwest town. The yard is a British railway facility to serve local cotton and wood mills and light industry. It also serves as a transshipment point for deliveries via rail to the town. Now then, what can be said that I haven't already said about the absolutely stunning Tallandalloch in Autumn by Terry Chew? I could wax lyrical for ages about this gorgeous layout and those stunning autumn colours. All of the 70 plus trees of various sizes on the layout are handmade, and you can even purchase a few made by Terry himself. Now this layout is a favourite of mine, packed full of incredible detail. You could spend hours just standing here watching and looking at all the various cameos. Witham is based on the geographical area of Witham in Somerset and set in the late 1950s to early 60s. Locomotives are predominantly from the western and southern regions, with the twilight of steam and early diesel types being showcased. Whiteacres is another Stafford Railway Circle layout and absolutely gorgeous. With so much detail, it's bright, it's colourful, it feels very, very fresh. Set in the Staffordshire-Derbyshire area, it represents a fictitious former LNWR route from Birmingham to Derby and Nottingham. Whiteacres is one of a dozen or so of the Stafford Railway Circle's layouts, and it's simply stunning. Interesting to think that when the Stafford Railway Circle was first formed in 1957, model railways were almost a secondary issue. The original members were more fans of the real thing. But as the club has grown and the decades have passed, that's all changed. And today the Stafford Railway Circle is considered a cornerstone of the model railway scene, hosting this, one of the largest and most established independent model railway exhibitions in the country. The crowds were out in force, with old and young alike enjoying model trains in all gauges and all eras. Plenty to do to keep the younger visitors occupied, and there was even some colouring for Grumpy. And when he wasn't colouring, he thought he'd try his hand at presenting.
All right, everyone, this is a bit unusual. All right, Grumpy Cameraman here. Now, Dawn's over there doing something with a layout, so I thought I'll have a go at presenting. It can't be that difficult, all right, because I've got some interesting facts. I'm at the Stafford Model Railway Show with Dawn, as you know, because it's on the video here and all that sort of stuff, right? But I found out some little bit of history. Here, this place, all right, they have bought a load of ex-British Rail platform bins. Because like in the 90s, they had to get all the bins off the platforms and everything for security reasons, and they've bought the lot. And there is an amazing selection of bins, all different colours, all from the 90s and all British Rail. So there you go. That is the history of the British Rail bin.
Grumpy, what are you doing?
I'm doing a bit of presenting. It's well easy, this. Showing bins.
Yeah, but you can't even see the bin.
Yes, you can. Oh, yeah, sorry. That's a bin.
Well, I know where I'm going to file his CV. Back to the show, and of course this weekend was something of an historic occasion.
Now, the Stafford Model Railway Show coincides with a very special weekend. This weekend marks the 200th anniversary of the very first fare-paying steam train from Stockton to Darlington. That was 200 years ago in 1825. And isn't it amazing to think that that one big step for industry has now resulted in this amazing hobby that hundreds of thousands of us now enjoy around the world. So let's go take a look at some more layouts.
So shall we take a look at something a little bigger? Let's go to O gauge now. And welcome to Allaby. This family-owned 7mm scale O gauge layout measures approximately 40 by 17 feet. It depicts a fictional part of the railway system somewhere in northern Cumbria, with a chosen era of 1985 to 1992. To Shropshire now with Blandings Parva, making its debut at this show. A backwater of the GWR, it still has a healthy passenger service. Blowers Green Wagon Repair Yard is based on a former wagon repair depot in Birmingham and set in the BR Blue period, 1968 to 1980s. It's designed to show that a medium-sized 7mm FS layout can be a little more than just a shunting plank. Presented by Newport Model Railway Society, Frecklesham is loosely based on a location now lost beneath the southern arc of the M25, the track plan being compressed and altered slightly. The branch line served a growing local community, with passenger traffic increasing as suburbia encroached. Addison Road, nowadays known as Kensington Olympia, on the busy West London route between Willesden and Clapham Junction. Because this was a joint line formerly involving the L and NWR, GWR, LB and SCR, and L and SWR, it's proved to be a good choice for a club project. The O-gauge fine-scale model shows the station as it was around 1925, and somewhere on this layout I remember there being an elephant on the platform. P7 Yard is inspired by the Midland Railway Avon Street Yard in Bristol, nestled in the shadow of Bristol Temple Meads Station. In the late 1970s, the yard was used for the transport of cement, molasses and occasional scrap trains. The sidings were removed in the 1980s and little trace of the railway remains today. Woodhill Goods is an O-gauge model of an imaginary light railway in Thirsk, North Yorkshire. The Thirsk and Sowerby Light Railway Woodhill branch serves farming communities along the Newsham Road. Originally, the line continued to Avenue Grange, but following a landslip was cut back to Woodhill. A series of very special layouts now, curated by the Staffordshire Fine Scale Group to pay tribute to Andy York, friend of the group and founder of the RM Web Forum, who sadly passed away earlier this year. The tribute comprised Andy's first layout, Keyhaven, Takaroo, a depiction of the military railway built on Cannock Chase during the First World War, which Andy built with Andy Banks, and Crooked House, a new layout that the group are building as a tribute to Andy, depicting the Earl of Dudley's railway in the West Midlands.
So we had already decided that at the Stafford show this year, rather than our normal one or two of us doing a demonstration, we'd already decided that we were going to bring some layouts along to the show. And Andy's passing just made it easy to decide which of those layouts to bring. So Keyhaven it's based on a real place, but the place never had a ferry, it never had a rail connection. But it was a place that was really close to him and his wife. They used to go on holidays down there in Hampshire. Myself and Andy both had an interest in the military railways of Cannock Chase. So First World War, there were 40,000 troops on Cannock Chase, all being trained up to go and fight in France. Something like 2016, I put a note on our own web to say, does anybody know of these locomotives, if anybody makes kits? And Andy almost immediately responded saying, "Are you in my head?" So from that moment, we realised we were both thinking about a layout to do with the chase. And from that moment, it was our project, if you like. So when Andy died, his wife said to us that she had Andy had his layout he'd been working on, supposed to be his retirement piece. And she asked us if we could finish it. It was a non-mobile layout, pretty huge, and barely started. So we couldn't take that on. None of us have got room to do that. So basically, this is a tribute layout we built in 4 months, basically capturing all those things we knew Andy was working on, all those things that interested him. And so that's as close as we could get to what he would have built if he was doing that. Andy was quite a shy guy, really, despite the fact he was so present in the hobby. So I think he'd be really touched. I think he'd be genuinely surprised.
Going down the gauges now to N gauge and some truly unusual layouts on show. A case in point is Bond Lane, which is simply not to be missed, with a range of different scenes including sunset, nighttime and a dramatic thunderstorm. Doe Lee is a 4-foot by 1-foot N gauge shunting layout, showing how to create a simple and effective scenic working layout in a small area. The Doe Lee branch is a mothballed railway line in Derbyshire, but the layout isn't based on the original Doe Lee station. It has a 3-foot working scenic area and a 1-foot traverser plate to hold stock ready for shunting. Middle Elmton is a small town in North Nottinghamshire between Elmton Cresswell Junction and Langwith. A branch line leads from the town to Bolsover. Traffic includes local passenger and freight, along with some mainline traffic between Sheffield and London. Smalldale is a small village situated between Buxton and Chapel on the Frith, just east of Dove Holes. The quarry is now a popular rock climbing area, but it was once part of the ICI Buxton Lime operations. Still quite a few layouts to go, but before we continue, it's time to take in the various trade stands, associations and demonstrations at this amazing Stafford Model Railway Show. There's truly something for everyone, and I'm tempted to splash the cash just a little bit too, but I'll wait till Grumpy is otherwise distracted. Let's get back to the layouts and a variety of different gauges from Continental HO to fine scale and narrow gauge. Although a fictitious location, Bear Creek Junction is one of the many canyons typical of Colorado, where mining and logging proliferate. Here you can see fragile wooden trestle bridges curving around mountains, view soaring steel trestles crossing valleys, and hear the sounds of steam engines roaring out of rock-faced tunnels. From Bear Creek just a little bit further west to $8 Canyon on the Pacific Northwest of the US. Let's leave the States behind and head east to Marmagne, which is located on a branch line which winds its way through the wide expanse of open countryside in central France. RS Tower depicts a flat crossing between two lines in a small Midwestern town. The interlocking at the diamond is a frequent cause of delay and congestion to both routes, meaning the trains often have to wait there for a path through the town, slowing down the operations and hopefully letting folk have a better look at the trains. In 1909, the Rätische Bahn proposed constructing a connection from Zernez on line to Skol. The scheme never came to fruition. However, with the application of a little modeller's license, the line was built and it serves the Swiss National Park to the east of Zernez and on to Italy. Welcome to the Irish Riviera, County Sligo with its wonderful beaches, Atlantic rollers and mining operations, which brought the railway to this part of Ireland in 1866. Bluish Moor was originally conceived as a testbed for a larger Woodhead-based layout, but seemed to take on a life of its own. This was due in no small part to the increased availability of rolling stock items in 3mm scale. This layout represents the terminus station of Cadenford, a small town located somewhere in the Scottish borders and served by a branch of the cross-country line that runs through Hewisbridge and links the Waverley route and the East Coast Main Line. The branch to Cadenford was promoted by local businessmen involved in the woolen trade. Exbridge represents a small West Country cross-country railway line based around the River Exe. It's a BR layout which operates in the changeover period in the 1960s from steam to diesel traction. Foxbury is imagined to be the terminus of a former GWR branch line set in the mid-1950s. The location is in the Cotswolds, in the area around Cheltenham, Bourton-on-the-Water and Burford. Situated in the northwest corner of Wales on the Llyn Peninsula, Pwllheli is the northern terminus of the Cambrian Coast Railway. 8 return workings a day traverse the coastal route to Machynlleth, with services continuing onward to Shrewsbury. The layout attempts to convey an impression of the station and its surrounding area as it appeared between 2000 and 2012. Roundtree's sidings is based on the mid-1980s on Tyneside. The Tyne and Wear Metro started running in 1980. British Rail had running rights over the network to service the Rowntree Macintosh factory at Faundon and ICI at Callerton. Shute was a small station stop and goods yard on a previously busy double-track LNWR line. Westcliff is a might-have-been whose location is based on the Dorset seaside town of Westbay, Bridport's harbour, as it might have evolved by the 1920s.
Well, I think we just about got through that. Well done, Grumpy. You did an amazing job getting all the layouts. But wait a minute, you've done 54 layouts. I thought there was 55.
Dawn, look down, love.
Oh, yeah. That's it from us at the Stafford Model Railway Show. I hope you enjoyed the video. We loved the show. See you next time. Bye-bye.
If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of all my future videos. And why not browse the shop at modelrailwayquest.com/shop. And to receive a 10% discount on everything in the shop, become a Questie. Join the Model Railway Quest membership to receive that discount and a whole bunch of perks and goodies. Details on how to join are above. I'm Dawn Quest, and this is Model Railway Quest.